5 for them.
Yeah, now we really got to see Gondar where he stands against us, against Tempest, against the strongest, one of the strongest front lines in Korea and in the world, Sign. And compare Sign's Anubarak in game number 1 and compare the Anubarak play from Gondar in game number 2. Lots of differences, especially when it comes to the usage of Cocoon. That takes experience, and I think it just takes a lot of time to really get to see the timing when you have to use it on who, on depending on the situation. You could see the use of Cocoon from coming up from Sign, cocooning Uther at the perfect time, exactly to save his teammate. But Gondar, at the end, using the Cocoon onto Ariel when Ariel already used Aegis anyhow, and that was a little questionable, very late use of Cocoons all the time.
Yeah, I could see what you're saying with that. The cocoon usage wasn't the best there. I do feel like his aggressive dive in the early game, too, failed a few times. We are going to Cursed Hollow for game 3. So let's focus on the future here for BlossoM and not the past of how this series has begun. And let's see what they're going to do with this now third first pick they'll be given. This is, of course, the map choice of Tempest. And they're prioritizing the Uther over everything else. The Genji, I feel like, has been a problem against them, but I don't feel like it's been specifically the reason. But if they are worried about that Genji pick, the Dragon Blades that we've seen now from 2 different players, Honkono and Lockdown, we'll see if they want to play around that, draft around that, or if they're just going to stick with what works. I feel like in the early part of Game 2, they really outdrafted Tempest, but they closed things out with the Kerrigan pick, with the Falstad. I think that's when things went wrong. Just Kerrigan only having the protection of Uther in those fights. D.Va is removing some of that CC. And also D.Va's thrusters, when she boosted in, would kind of mess up the combos and mess up everything that they were trying to do because they couldn't position perfectly well when she was diving in. They always had to consider the self-destructs coming out. We saw even a gust there at the last part of the game to gust that self-destruct away. And as we talked about, they already adapt here and first ban the Genji.
I like this ban from the start. And giving respect to both Lockdown and Honkono, the entire team of Tempest, that, okay, you guys have multi-players that they can play Genji, and it's been very scary. So there's a Genji ban. They can, if Tempest do not ban Uther or Anubarak, I believe they will also keep the Tastar ban and let BlossoM take either Uther or Anubarak so they can get the other one too. But instead it's going to be Dehaka this time to take out the global.
So do they take the Uther here or do they take the Anubarak?
I want to see some changes. Yeah, I don't think Uther is working out too perfectly right now.
It really isn't for them. Despite having heroes that paired with it. They had the Kerrigan in Game 2. They had the double support in Game 1 for the Vala. But as we move into Game 3, do you really first pick it again? Do you really latch on to this idea that hasn't been working? Or do you prioritize Gondar's Anubarak here, give him the opportunity to try to carry on this hero once more? If you give the Uther away, though, Tempest can pair that with several different heroes here as we move into Cursed Hollow. Vala, one you've already seen them use, not with an Uther, but they might try to pair that going into the second rotation. So you have to choose the stronger of 2 evils. Well, in this case, they're going to take the third of the 3 evils in Tassadar.
You can make any evils with Tassadar attachment. All the shields coming in, of course. This is a very good first pick, which has always been out there, and a perfect way to actually counter that with Avatar, the global. Avatar has such a high win rate also.
Yeah, I actually really think the Tassadar pick is, I don't want to say it's overstepping boundaries, but it certainly puts you, it puts you into kind of an all-in position where you have to find something for him to empower, because alone Tassadar isn't that high impact. I know everyone in Twitch chat will make jokes about his auto attacks and how strong he is right now. But when you have the Tassadar pick with nothing that pairs with it immediately, you have to think about what are you going to bring to the draft. I wouldn't even mind if they grabbed Illidan right now. Say, okay, let's take Illidan, maybe an Illidan Tyrael here. I'm starting to like the draft a little bit more. But if I don't have an answer for what Tassadar is going to be paired with in this specific rotation of the draft, I'm a little bit worried for BlossoM as to where they're going to go with this one.
That's right. It's also Tempest saying if you're going to bring out Illidan, choose it now, or else we're gonna ban it or take it later.
Yeah, pairs well with the Abathur too.
Pairs perfectly with Abathur, and can always go with Abathur. Can always go get the tribute on this Cursed Hollow. So BlossoM decides to show what their comp is made out of right now. They bring out the Trinity with Tassadar, Ariel, and Vala.
Okay, so this was the more common option. It didn't work out for them when they committed to the double support for Vala in Game 1. Well, they're going to go back to what they know here. So Arthas will be removed. With Arthas removed, I think BlossoM definitely should consider the Illidan ban here. Arthas is removed, and you could just see the Illidan Tyrael rotation here. Then you have a strong follow-up for the final support to be chosen for Tempest. Remember, Uther is still available. Imagine the draft here if that ended up being the case. I mean, it's pretty terrifying. You do sacrifice a lot of range damage if you draft that way, but we've seen North American teams do it, we've seen Korean teams do it, we've seen Tempest do it specifically, so definitely want to consider that one. Otherwise, you're looking at range DPS that you're worried about with the Vala pick here, as Li Ming has been one of the big ones.
That's right. I was also thinking about Li Ming. Giving away Illidan, which may not be the best answer to ban right now. We'll just go around a little bit and ban the mage, ban Li Ming, which is one of the best lockdown heroes, so I think limiting his hero pool. Also taking out Li Ming, limiting their range damage. I think that's one of the answers you can give right now with the ban.
They go for the Illidan ban instead, though.
Let's see if that's the right answer that Tempest was also looking for. They also have lots of others. Well, Genji and Illidan banned from BlossoM. This is the world we're living in now.
Yeah.
All the dives are banned away.
Well, let's see if they want to just draft now pretty standard. The Abathur can still pair with the Anubarak. Greymane and Zeratul work well for this. This is a better way to approach this, I think, than to just go into a Li Ming pick here. Tassadar can outshield her damage if the shields are placed correctly. And you have Zeratul who can threaten the backline, force early Aegises to be used, sometimes self-Aegises on Ariel when Zeratul dives the backline.
That's right.
You have Greymane for really fast cap clears, for the early timings on this map to pair with the tribute spawns. They both pair well, and Anubarak pairs well with Abathur, who's just so strong right now. Surprising, this will actually be the first Abathur game this season, so many things you could do with this draft. You could take the Uther as your support now. I mean, this is almost certainly will be the Uther. You could make arguments for Rhaegar for his Wolf Run and his ability to transition quickly between lanes and also help camp with Greymane, but I think it's definitely going to be the Uther.
Yeah, and also because of Zeratul with the Abathur hat, it's going to be a lot more threat coming in. That's exactly why BlossoM is taking a lot of time. Asmodan!
And Varian. Well, Wiz is smiling, but I think everyone else is pretty silent after this one. I can't even really tell you why the Asmodan would be picked here. The Asmodan push that you're going to see at level 1 is quite strong. You can, of course, then move across the map and do some split pushing and things like that. But into a Zeratul pick, you're not going to get much split pushing done outside the level 1 push that you're going to have on the cannon towers. Was this going to be like Twin Blades variant? Is this the comp to beat the easy AI so you can get your Overwatch skin comp? Is that what this is, G-Club?
No Twin Blade, please.
I hope not, but like
I know he used it at the end to beat Ragnarok on the cinematic, but please, it has to be taunting Zeratul to taking out, even better with Brightwing, taking out Brightwing from the beginning of the fight. I think that works perfectly against Tempest. I think Tempest is looking down on BlossoM right now.
All right, here we go, guys. Brightwing comes in instead of the Uther. So not as much direct protection here, but they do have Abathur to give a little bit more health with the symbiotes coming out. Tempest, definitely with a more normal draft here. The Brightwing threw me for a curveball, but Asmodan Varian, we're going to see it from level 1. The pushing power coming out from BlossoM. A very risky composition when they're against match point. Let's see if they can bring it back, or if Tempest is going to close it out 3-0 as we move into Cursed Hollow. In blue, Tempest, Honkono on Greymane, Hyde on Brightwing, HGC on Zeratul, Sign on Anubrak, and Lockdown on Abathur.
And in red, Team BlossoM, Wiz on Ariel, Gondar on Varian, Nora on Tassadar, Dudu on Vala, and No Chat on Asmodan. It's real, guys.
It's real.
We have Asmodan in the house.
I like how you said it. So here's the level 1 I was talking about. You can push this really hard, and there's not really much counterplay if you guess wrong to defense. You just have to kind of counter push. This is going to be the stronger pushing opposition, though, coming out here for BlossoM. So they will get this down a little bit faster, as you can see, but not massively faster. So it's going to be a slightly better trade for BlossoM when we get this healing fountain. We'll see how long this actually goes on. Asmodan's rotating up.
Ooh, it does have Asmodan on going top, and after had on before. I want to see a core race from Korea. That has never happened before. Oh.
It did happen back in the beta, actually. Not at OGN, but the pre-tournaments like the Africa tournament and stuff like that. That happened like a long time ago. I had to cast some of those games. But anyways, it's not as exciting as you would think. It's not as exciting as you would think. So they will get a fort from this. So a fort for a fort here. A little bit of extra damage done to the bot lane, but already this idea didn't really get that much advantage for BlossoM, and now we just kind of set back to square zero. Mora here gets caught, forced to dimensional shift. So already this is kind of a weird situation. Like, Mora is playing Tassadar, and you would think he would be the one to shift into like the Varian maybe with this composition. Perhaps the Asmodan. When you see him on the Tassadar, you know something has gone wrong. Okay, we're going to see the dive here onto Dudu. Oh, look at the stun. Signs Anubrak has been impressive. This is just another reason why.
Just the Impale was enough, and Honkono Greymane's damage is just massive with all the cocktail and the wolf form, the Q. This is crazy. Actually, though, I like this 4 already down for BlossoM and having No Chat on top, because No Chat will actually not overextend too much because Asmod is on top and is very, very weak against all the ganks coming in because he's so far back behind compared to all other lanes. I think he can just be safe with the back line.
Yeah, he just soaks for free, basically.
And then he can just take care of the other lanes when the tributes are coming up. I think this is working better for the moment, and in terms of a longer game and soaking up EXP, I think it's working better for No Chat.
I would agree with that. I think it's kind of an unfortunate advantage that we have to describe, where you're like, okay, well, this is what they get out of this unfortunate situation in a little way, but I mean, you're right. He's definitely
hide it.
You're definitely kind of giving the silver lining of this cloud, which is that he will have the safer soak. Brightwing is going in on him a little bit up there in the top lane, forcing him out of lane right now as he rotates down. The first tribute will be a bottom blue side tribute, and already Tempest has the rotation in here. The Nest's actually not finding any real hits here. Good clears by BlossoM. Tassadar can be another good way to deal with that. Obviously, with his Oracle revealing, he's not here just yet, but he's on his way down. See, H82 is looking for the flank spot here. Okay, channel coming in now for Dudu. Does move back. It's a 4v4. The camp advantage, though, to Tempest, who has that camp on the opposite side of the map. HA2 looking for an opportunity to get spotted, though.
And BlossoM does have a little bit more poking skills and ability and ranged attacks, so it's a little better for BlossoM to take control. As you can see, the positioning around the tribute is a little better.
Wizen Duelist, by the way, for Greymane at level 7. So, kind of an interesting pick here. He's gone full Worgen form.
Let's see, he is on Kono.
So he wants to actually get pretty all in here. Look at the dive over the wall, misses it though.
Also dodges the Impale too.
Yeah, and Honkono can't get over the wall, so he's gonna get out. More time being bought here for Asmodan. Asmodan has a lot of different ways to delay the tributes because of his massive amount of range and his spawns that will come in and attack anyone who's trying to channel. So that's another edge that they can get from this hero. You can see the poke already coming in. Mora eventually goes and cleans this up. Did a decent amount of damage though, and depleted all ammo on that keep wall. And now this is kind of a 4.5 v5 with Abathur symbiotes, Abathur body soaking in mid.
Yeah, so with the sustain, they're going to lack in sustain especially. That's why they're targeting Dudu at the moment. Heals came in, but not enough protection to save Vala at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's the problem when you have to send Mora up top like that. Can't be there for the shields. The tribute spawn is a lucky one for the camp timing that Tempest had that cleared it so quickly, forcing them back across the wall. Looks like this will finally be the capture for H82. No chat on cooldown for his Globe of Annihilation. Just tosses it down here on the other side of the wall. Too late to delay the tribute. Now they take a full level lead, and Abathur just teleports top. See if he can do some split pushing, a little bit of harassment. Already found though, and I can't believe we're about to watch this happen on TV. Sorry, Lockdown. That was pretty optimistic. They will make it a 1-for-1 on the other side of the map though. Maybe even a 1-for-2 as Gondar is caught outside. Wiz and Duelist stacks are coming up, man. He's already got 3 of them. They look for another one.
Looks like it's going to be 3 instead. No chat on, so Polymorph, and that's a kill. And 10 is on their level end. We're going to see Cocoon go for the throat.
Go for the throat.
Yeah, he's going for the kill as he has to get that stack too.
Just feels like Tempest is playing with their food a little bit here. So Lockdown going to the top there, a little bit of a mistake you could argue, but he definitely drew the Vala's attention away.
Yes, that was the perfect play. He took out all the damage from BlossoM, which was Vala, and got 3 kills for it. I mean, it really worked out at the end of the day.
Good CC chains down there at the bottom. BlossoM's now just desperately trying to cap. Their bot cap will be stolen from them, perhaps. Nope, just going to take the watchtower. Good tribute spawn here again for Tempest. We'll see the delay here with the Globe. But that's just going to be temporary. Mora is caught. We'll have to dimensional shift away. They're going to try to turn this around to H82. He drops the Void. Does not connect with Gondar, though. So he will actually get the kill there. Well played, and Void Prison now wasted. Curse point here for Tempest. Sieging Wrath is finished now here at 7 minutes. Okay, they're going to try to take a boss play from this, it looks like. This is a greedy play, but I think they might need to do it.
It's a little greedy, but with the Force Shield, I think they may be able to end with the lockdown with the clone. They're buying some time just now. And with Honkana low, I think they may have enough time to actually take this camp now.
It's going to be close. I think they might. Remember, Sign can always rotate in. I like the BlossoM respected that there, and the choke point did not waste it there. Okay, here's the respawn. Would have been nice to have Void Prison here. They don't have it. They're going to go, and there's the poly.
We'll see Cocoon coming in right as Sign comes in. There's a Cocoon limiting one of the members.
Ariel's down. Yeah, you can't use it. Does break out eventually here, but Sign has full boss control. They already got the pick onto Gondar, and that is going to be the boss retake for Tempest. And this is just, things have gone from bad to worse now for BlossoM. Force Wall trying to stop them from the chase here. That's going to be the kill though. Aegis wasted as well here for Wiz. He goes down. That's the double. And the tribute is just going to be taken immediately here for Lockdown. So it's going to be Curse plus boss.
Which is one of the worst things that can happen against you when you're in Cursed Hollows here. And
one of the worst things that can happen to you in Heroes of the Storm in general.
I guess they made a call. We have to do this right now. We saw the Void Prison use. It was in 60-something second cooldown. We have our chances. Of course, Cocoon can be a very dangerous threat. Cyan actually coming in from the side. They were caught by surprise because he came out from the sides, got some CCs in, and Ariel on the Cocoon. Perfect uses to not let her use the Aegis to save any of the members. Perfect uses of Cocoon and the teamwork play coming out from Tempest.
Well, now Dudu's going to get caught here, immediately killed right in the front. So Gondar trying to come up and do what he can with his respawn coming in. The keep is down. No, not really any split push going on with Abathur. Just now teleports top, who was actually just using Symbiote the entire time. Now he's getting split pushed on. Might not matter with no minions coming out here. Just barely does Mora escape, but Wiz will not be so lucky. He goes down. The shields are down on the core. Gondar's trying to do what he can to try to buy time, but it looks like their time may be up in this best of 5. The core is committed to. There's the kill on Zeratul, but that's all they're going to get. Core's going down, 5%, 2%. Sign trying to finish it off here. The shield's not enough.
Oh, not enough for Sign. The last one does destroy the core at the end. And that's game 3 going for Tempest, and the match over for BlossoM tonight. They have really tried lots of things. The Vala Trinity 2 times. and some balance comp with Stitches taking away, but Tempest seems to be such a better team with mechanical plays and the macro play today.
Yeah, definitely true. I do feel that Tempest felt pretty confident in that last game. Some unusual plays, like the Abathur going top there for a minute. That was rip lockdown for a second, but the draft was pretty weird on the side of BlossoM, and I can't really even try to give them the benefit of the doubt for it. It was pretty, there's lack of synergy there. The Azmodan pick can delay tributes, I could say that. They got the level 1 push, but it was countered in part by Tempest also knowing that this was going to be the case, going for their hard level 1 push. So just in general, it felt like they were really grasping at straws there at the end of the series, but you know, just their second series of the tournament. They went 0-3, or sorry, they went 3-0 yesterday. They went 0-3 today. So they kind of sell themselves at 1-1 at the 0-point indicator. So they're half and half there. But gotta say, the play from Tempest looked crisp, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do as they go against stronger opponents moving forward. Honkono showing this flexibility on the DPSs already. You know, I was worried that after today we were gonna look at this and go, well, Honkono's just still not quite ready for DPS yet, but I was pleasantly surprised. He looks really good on going back to his old role of DPS, his first role back in 2015. And the Genji play was solid. Greymane was good. The Wisdom Duelist there was pretty amazing. So there you have it.
Oh, I think he had the trust in his team. He had the trust in Hyde, his old teammate, and he's back now. He's back in, not Tempest Storm, Tempest. And H82 also fitting in perfectly with his... kind of like Dami before, like 0-2 play, maybe if he picks up more of a Sonya and lots of those melee assassins, I think he fits in perfectly like Tempest. And Sign today looks amazing in the front line.
The Anubarak play out of Sign, and when Anubarak's the best warrior in the game and Sign's so good at it, then you're looking at a good time if you're Tempest. So, who's your MVP? I always ask this.
Well, I know who's not the MVP.
Who's not the MVP?
Lockdown.
No.
I would actually like to talk to H82 because he's moving to the new, either Honkono or H82 because they moved into the new team, Tempest, and I want to ask how they're feeling about the new team, the teamwork, what they're working on, kind of thing. So I think we're likely going to see H82 or Honkono.
Well, let's find out. It's the trumpets coming out. I'd like to hear from H82 myself, but we will see. If it's Honkono, you better be wearing sunglasses. Let's find out who it is, the reveal. Zclef, of course, will be here to translate for you guys the interview. And it's actually Hyde. So I guess talking about the building of the team, perhaps, is kind of the leader.
네, 요즘 푹 쉬셨죠?
네,
You had a good rest, right?
네.
이제 영웅 리그도 새 시즌 돼서 많이 하고
With the new season of Hero League, I've been playing a lot
오히려 그 시간을
of the game, and I've used a lot of the time to play the game and study the game.
팀원들이 합류가 되면서
네.
좀 어떤 분위기고
After
어떤 점이
the two
지난
newest additions to your team, what are some changes to your team?
좀 더 저번에는 좀 수비적인 성향.
I think we were a little bit passive defensive last time
이번에는 다 좀
in phase 1,
공격적인.
and now we're all in aggressive like the past.
느낌이 좀 더 나지 않는가. 네, 그런 생각이
I think
들었어요.
we're a little bit more like our old Tempest, also like Tempest Storm.
해파리 선수가 이제 홍코너 왔기 때문에 더욱더 공격적으로 갈 것 같다는데 운영적인 또 픽을 했단 말이에요.
네.
이게 또 전략적으로 들고 오는 것이.
We were thinking of a little bit more aggressive, as you said in the interview, but you were also thinking about the globals too.
강한 조합을 들고 왔더라고요. 그래서 저희
Oftentimes BlossoM had really strong team fight. Team fight comes, so we wanted to go around and play out with the macro fights.
그러니까 필요할 때만 싸우는 그런.
We don't really need to fight at all the time because they have the team fight comp.
진짜로 그 오늘 경기에서 여유 같은 게 굉장히 느껴졌었거든요.
We could
경기
feel
내에서
that
막
you were
압박감을 좀 많이 느끼지 못했나요? 운영이
having lots of rooms in the plane, like the macro was very smooth.
부분들이 좀 있었는데
네.
오늘 경기는 좀 그런 면에서 좀 어떠셨나요?
How do you think about today's match?
새로 들어오고 맞춰오는 과정에서 서로 좀 생각이 좀 비슷하고 이런 것
As
때문에
we were coming in together as a team, we thought about lots of the same things. We were thinking of the same thing.
다 같이 이렇게 좀 즐겁게
네.
해보자 이렇게 해가지고.
And we have this atmosphere of let's enjoy it, let's have fun also.
인터뷰 질문을 한번
Go into the
드려보겠습니다.
competitive match with that
홍코너가
kind of
이번
mindset.
경기에서 탱커가 아닌 딜러 즉 겐지 발라 그레이 메인으로 이제
왜
플레이했는데
덩커너
포지션
겐지 발라
변경의
그레이
이유에
메인
대해서
today?
알려주세요. 이렇게 나왔거든요.
Is there a specific reason
홍콩
why he
선수가
changed
이제
his role?
맨 처음에 히오스 시작했을 때 딜러로 시작을 했었어요.
네.
처음에는.
Connor did
그래서 저는
start
굉장히 잘한다고 생각을 하고 있었고 이번에
as a DPS,
이제
as a damage,
아무래도
as an assassin
락다운한테 좀
player at the beginning of.
몰아주는 경향이 있었는데 그런 부담감을 좀
That's
덜어주기
also
위해서
why he was
메인
all
딜러 기용하고
in
있는데
aggressive all the time.
저랑 잘 맞더라고요. 그런 부분.
Also as a tank, but
그래서
along with
메인
the team, it
딜러로
really
포지션을 좀
balanced out the
바꾸게
team
그러면
as
다시
himself
한번
coming in.
예전의 느낌, 1년 전의 느낌이라면 그때는 세계 무대를 제패했을
호령했죠.
때거든요.
예.
You guys
어,
were the global
그렇잖아요.
champion last year of summer.
피나틱, 디글리타스 떨어뜨리고
Fnatic
템페스트니까
Dignitas.
이제.
네.
Can you grab all?
이제
Can you catch up to them and
세계대회를 갈 수 있다면
네.
꼭 가가지고 혼내줄 수
어.
beat
있도록
them? I will
하겠습니다.
try
저
our
진짜
try our
궁금한
best to
게
go
있었는데,
to
마지막으로.
BlizzCon and try
지난
to.
본인의 중계 다시 보였습니까?
I'll try.
네.
We'll
어떠셨어요?
do our best to actually beat them.
처음 한 것치고는 잘했다고
Beat all the
생각해요.
ETS.
네.
어.
솔직히